the lie that walked into Beverly Hills. The first slap wasn't across her face. It was across her pride. Emily Carter stood quietly beside the matte black Rolls-Royce Phantom parked outside an elegant mansion in Beverly Hills, watching a young couple stride confidently toward the front gate. The California sun reflected off the polished hood while rows of towering palm trees swayed gently against the clear blue sky. Luxury cars lined the street, and beyond the iron gate stretched one of the most exclusive private estates in Los Angeles. Emily adjusted the cuff of her navy blazer and glanced at her watch. She was exactly 3 minutes early. As always. To everyone passing by, she looked like nothing more than a professional chauffeur waiting for her employer. That was exactly how she preferred it. Very few people knew that the woman standing beside the luxury sedan wasn't the driver. She owned the estate. She owned the car. She owned one of Southern California's fastest-growing artificial intelligence companies worth billions of dollars. And today, none of that mattered. Because a stranger was about to tell her she didn't belong. Tyler Brooks wrapped an arm around his girlfriend's waist as they approached the mansion. "You see that?" Ashley laughed, pointing toward Emily. "I told you rich people don't even open their own car doors." Tyler forced a smile. "Yeah." His stomach tightened. He recognized the car immediately. He had driven it only twice. Not because it belonged to him. Because he occasionally worked as a freelance luxury vehicle detailer for several wealthy clients around Los Angeles. Including this one. Ashley leaned closer. "So," she whispered excitedly, "this is really your family's place?" Tyler hesitated for less than a second. The lie had become so familiar it no longer felt like one. "My dad bought it years ago." Ashley gasped. "I knew it." She kissed his cheek. "I always knew you weren't like everyone else." Tyler looked away. Every word felt heavier than the last. 6 months earlier he had met Ashley at a rooftop bar in downtown Los Angeles. He'd been embarrassed to admit he rented a tiny apartment in Koreatown and worked 3 different jobs just to keep up with rent. So instead, he'd shown her photos of houses he detailed. Luxury cars he polished. Private jets he'd cleaned. She assumed they belonged to his family. He never corrected her. Now the lie had grown into something impossible to escape. Emily noticed them walking directly toward her. The young woman wore designer sunglasses, expensive heels, and enough confidence to own the neighborhood. The man beside her looked strangely uncomfortable. Emily recognized him immediately. Tyler Brooks. A contract worker. Quiet. Polite. Hardworking. She remembered him because unlike many temporary workers, he always treated every employee respectfully. Which made the anxiety on his face even stranger. Ashley stopped only a few feet away. She slowly removed her sunglasses and looked Emily up and down. "So," she smiled, "you're the new driver?" Emily returned a calm smile. "I work here." Ashley nodded proudly. "I figured." She reached into her handbag and pulled out a folded $20 bill. "Could you park the car somewhere shaded after we're inside?" Emily blinked once. "I'm sorry?" Ashley extended the money farther. "The paint looks perfect. I'd hate for it to get dusty." Tyler immediately froze. "Ashley." "It's okay," she interrupted. "I'm just tipping her." Emily looked at the bill but made no attempt to take it. "I appreciate the gesture." Her voice remained perfectly calm. "But I don't accept tips." Ashley frowned. "Oh. So you're one of those proud employees." She laughed softly. "I like that." Tyler's pulse pounded in his ears. He wanted to stop this. To explain everything. But every second he waited made the truth more terrifying. Ashley smiled again. "Could you also tell the house manager that Mr. Brooks has arrived?" Emily tilted her head slightly. "Mr. Brooks?" "My boyfriend." Ashley squeezed Tyler's hand proudly. His family owns the property. For the first time, Emily looked directly into Tyler's eyes. He couldn't meet her gaze. And in that single silent moment, Emily understood everything. The mansion. The girlfriend. The lie. She said nothing. Instead, a faint smile appeared on her face. Of course. She stepped toward the massive front doors. I'll let the owner know that Mr. Brooks has arrived. Tyler felt every drop of blood leave his face. Because the owner was the woman Ashley had just mistaken for the chauffeur. The woman behind the gates. Tyler stood frozen. His heartbeat thundered in his ears as Emily disappeared through the towering mahogany doors. Ashley, however, seemed completely relaxed. She slipped her sunglasses back on and admired the estate. I have to admit, she said with a grin, your parents have incredible taste. The mansion overlooked the hills of Beverly Hills, its floor-to-ceiling glass walls reflecting the afternoon sun. White stone terraces wrapped around a sparkling infinity pool that seemed to pour into the skyline of Los Angeles. This place is even better than the pictures. Tyler swallowed hard. Yeah. His voice barely came out. Ashley laughed. I can't wait to meet your parents. He almost told her the truth. Almost. Instead, he nodded. They're busy. A long silence followed. Then the massive front door slowly opened. Emily stepped back outside. She looked exactly as calm as before. The owner will see you now. Ashley smiled proudly. I told you. She wrapped her arm around Tyler's and confidently walked inside. Tyler felt like every step was carrying him closer to disaster. The entrance hall looked more like a luxury hotel than a private home. Italian marble stretched beneath their feet. Modern sculpture stood beneath skylights. A grand piano overlooked a wall of glass revealing the city below. Ashley quietly whispered. I could live here forever. Emily heard her. She simply smiled. I imagine many people would. They crossed the enormous living room. Several employees greeted Emily as she passed. Good afternoon, Miss Carter. Everything is ready, Miss Carter. The board members will arrive at 6. Ashley frowned. She glanced toward Tyler. Did they just call the chauffeur Miss Carter? Tyler felt the room spinning. Before he could answer, Emily calmly replied. They did. Ashley laughed. That's cute. I guess everyone here is very formal. Emily didn't respond. Instead, she stopped before a pair of elegant oak doors. She turned around. If you'll excuse me for one moment. She stepped inside. The doors quietly closed behind her. Ashley sighed. I love rich people. They're so dramatic. Tyler wiped sweat from his forehead. He couldn't breathe. Something was terribly wrong. Inside the private office, Emily removed her blazer and hung it neatly beside the door. Her assistant immediately stood. Good afternoon, Miss Carter. Your investors have confirmed. Emily nodded. Delay the meeting by 20 minutes. Of course. And one more thing. Yes? Please verify whether Tyler Brooks is still listed among Pacific Horizon's approved contract vendors. Her assistant typed quickly. Yes. He has an excellent record. No complaints. Actually. She smiled. Several supervisors specifically praised his honesty. Emily looked out the enormous window toward the city. Interesting. Very interesting. Outside the office, Ashley continued admiring the mansion. She wandered toward a large framed magazine cover hanging on the wall. Forbes. California Business Monthly. Innovation Today. The same woman appeared on every cover. Elegant. Confident. Powerful. Ashley stared. She frowned. Then looked toward the office door. No. She stepped closer. Her smile slowly disappeared. The woman on every magazine cover had the same face. The same eyes. The same navy blazer. The same calm expression. As the woman she'd mistaken for the chauffeur. Ashley laughed nervously. What a coincidence. Tyler closed his eyes. He already knew. There was no escaping anymore. Ashley picked up another framed photograph. This time Emily stood beside California's governor during a technology summit. Another showed her ringing the opening bell at the stock exchange. Another. Receiving Entrepreneur of the Year. Ashley slowly turned toward Tyler. Her voice barely above a whisper. Tyler. Why is your driver on every magazine cover? Before Tyler could answer, the office doors opened. Emily walked back out. Only now. She wasn't wearing the chauffeur's blazer. Instead, she wore an elegant white suit. Her assistant followed carrying a digital tablet. Behind them came two executives, immediately greeting her. Good afternoon, Ms. Carter. The investors have arrived. The legal team is waiting upstairs. Emily nodded. I'll join them shortly. Every employee in the room straightened the moment she appeared. Ashley felt the color drain from her face. Emily looked at Tyler. Then at Ashley. Her expression remained perfectly polite. Mr. Brooks. I believe your guest has a question. Ashley stared in complete disbelief. You. Emily smiled gently. Yes. I own the house. Silence filled the room. Ashley slowly looked toward Tyler. His eyes never left the floor. She finally understood. The mansion. The cars. The luxury lifestyle. None of it had ever belonged to him. Everything falls apart. Tyler stood in silence as Emily disappeared upstairs with her executives. Ashley didn't follow him. She simply stared at the marble floor. So. Her voice was quiet now. Who are you? Tyler let out a long breath. The truth? She nodded. I'm 29. I rent a small apartment in Koreatown. I work detailing luxury cars during the day. And I drive for private clients whenever they need someone. Ashley looked at him without emotion. No billionaire parents? No. No Beverly Hills mansion? No. No investment company? No. He lowered his head. I only have debt. For several seconds neither of them spoke. Finally Ashley laughed. It wasn't a happy laugh. It sounded exhausted. I introduced you to my parents. I told my friends I was dating one of the youngest real estate investors in Los Angeles. I defended you every time someone said your stories sounded too perfect. I'm sorry. You keep saying that. What else can I say? The truth. I just did. She shook her head. No. You finally admitted the lie. The truth would have been telling me 6 months ago. Tyler couldn't argue. She was right. Footsteps echoed from the staircase. Emily returned alone. The meeting has been delayed. She looked at Tyler. I checked your employment file. He looked up. You've always been one of our most reliable contractors. You've never stolen. You've never damaged property. You've always treated my employees respectfully. Tyler nodded silently. Emily continued. Which makes today even more disappointing. He swallowed. I know. You weren't fired for being poor. She paused. You almost lost every opportunity here because you chose to lie. Tyler closed his eyes. I understand. Emily handed him a business card. If you ever want to rebuild your reputation, start with honesty. Then she turned toward Ashley. I'm sorry your afternoon turned out this way. Ashley managed a weak smile. It's not your fault. No. Emily replied softly. It isn't. Outside, the California sunset painted the sky orange over Los Angeles. Ashley walked toward the front gate without looking back. Tyler followed several steps behind. Ashley. She stopped. I don't hate that you were broke. His heart lifted for a moment. I hate that you believed I would leave if I knew. A tear rolled down Tyler's face. I was afraid. I know. She looked toward the mansion one last time. But trust is worth more than any house in Beverly Hills. She removed the small silver keychain he had once given her. Placed it in his hand. And walked away. Tyler didn't try to stop her. For the first time in months. There was nothing left to pretend. The price of the truth. Tyler never called Ashley again. Some mistakes don't end with an apology. Some simply become part of who you are. The following Monday, he reported to work earlier than usual. He expected security to escort him away after what had happened at the mansion. Instead, Emily was already waiting in the underground garage of Pacific Horizon Technologies. She stood beside a silver electric sedan, holding a thin folder. I spoke with your supervisor, she said. Tyler lowered his eyes. I'm guessing it wasn't a pleasant conversation. It wasn't. She handed him the folder. But it was honest. Inside was a full-time employment contract. Higher salary. Health insurance. Paid training. A clear path to become a fleet operations manager. Tyler stared at the papers. You still want me working here? Emily nodded. My company builds technology. She looked him in the eyes. But companies are built by people. I can replace employees. I can't easily find people willing to admit they were wrong. Tyler slowly closed the folder. I don't deserve this. No. Emily replied calmly. You deserve a second chance. What you do with it is entirely your choice. He extended his hand. This time, I won't waste it. Emily shook it once. I hope not. Ashley spent the following weeks avoiding every conversation about Tyler. Friends who had once admired her billionaire boyfriend slowly learned the truth. Some laughed. Others apologized for believing the story. The embarrassment faded. The lesson remained. Months later, she sent Tyler one final message. I don't miss the mansion. I miss the man I thought you could have been. Tyler read it once. Then quietly deleted it. Not out of anger. But because he finally understood something. You can't build a future by chasing the person someone imagined you were. 6 months passed. Tyler's life looked completely different. He had earned a promotion through hard work. He no longer cleaned luxury cars. Now he managed the team responsible for them. He rented a better apartment overlooking the hills of Los Angeles. It wasn't Beverly Hills. It wasn't a mansion. But every piece of furniture inside belonged to him. Every bill was paid with money he had honestly earned. One evening, after another successful board meeting, Emily stepped onto the rooftop terrace overlooking downtown Los Angeles. The sunset painted the skyline in shades of gold and orange. Tyler joined her with 2 cups of coffee. Quite a view, he said. Emily smiled. It never gets old. For a while, neither of them spoke. Traffic flowed beneath them like streams of light stretching toward the Pacific Ocean. Finally, Tyler broke the silence. I used to think people respected wealth. Emily looked toward the city. They admire it. They respect character. And those are rarely the same thing. He laughed softly. I had to lose everything to understand that. No. Emily corrected him. You lost a lie. Everything else. You finally earned. Tyler looked across the endless skyline of Los Angeles. For the first time in years, he wasn't pretending to belong there. He simply did. Not because of borrowed mansions. Not because of expensive cars. Not because of someone else's success. Because his own life no longer depended on pretending to be someone else. Emily finished her coffee and turned toward the elevator. Los Angeles gives people endless opportunities to reinvent themselves. She smiled. But the people who truly succeed are the ones who stop pretending. Tyler watched the lights of the city flicker to life below. 6 months earlier, he had walked through the gates of a Beverly Hills mansion carrying nothing but lies. Now he walked toward his future carrying something far more valuable. His own name. His own work. And a life that finally belonged to him. The end.